Welcome to the short Vort on Parshas Haazinu and Yom Kippur 5786/Teshuvah. We're going to begin with a short Dvar Torah on Parshas Haazinu based on the Pirkei Torah by Rav Mordechai Gifter, the Rosh Yeshiva of Telz, Cleveland. He lived from 1915 to 2001. In Perek Lamed Beis, Pasuk Beis, it says, Yarov kamator l'chi, may my teachings drop like rain. Tizal katal imresi, may my utterances flow like the dew. The commentator, the Ibn Ezra, Avram Meir ben Ibn Ezra, 1092 to 1167, explained that Moshe Rabbeinu wanted his words to be like rain and dew, that they should penetrate the nation, the Bnei Yisrael, and make it fruitful. The Gifter explains that rain and dew nourish the earth, and they don't nourish stones, because only soil contains the necessary minerals and nutrients conducive to growth. Stones don't. Similarly, he says that for a Rebbe to train his Talmidim, his students, they must have certain basic characteristics which can then be developed. They must first have the right overall attitude towards Torah study, and they must have some degree of Yiras Shamayim, fear of heaven. If the student has those two traits, the Rebbe can then have teachings that drop like rain and flow like dew, bringing forth growth in the Talmud. Moving on to a Vort from Rav Pam, for Rav Pam, the Rosh Yeshiva Torah Growth, 1913 to 2001. So in Parshas Haazinu, it's usually Shabbos Shuvah. This year, it's one of those rare instances where it's not. It'll come out afterwards, but you may listen to this before Yom Kippur or afterwards. So there's two types of ways of having someone become purified. In the concluding Mishnah of Mesechus Yoma, Rav Akiva said, "How fortunate are you, Israel? For before whom do you purify yourselves, and who purifies you? It is your Father in heaven." As we have a pasuk in Yecheskel, which is the Haftorah for Parshas Parah, that it says, "Then I will sprinkle pure water upon you, that you may become cleansed." There's also a pasuk in Yirmiyahu that says, "The Mikveh of Israel is Hashem, just as a mikveh purifies the contaminated, so does Hashem purify Israel." So we see from these two psukim quoted that there's two distinct purification processes. There's first is the haza'ah, the sprinkling of an impure person with chatas water. That's the water of a Parah Adumah, the red heifer mixed with the spring water. And then there's tevilah, total immersion in a mikveh. Nesiva Shmuel, the author of Nesiva Shalom, Reb Shalom Noach Bazarovsky, 1911 to 2000. So he quoted Reb Tzvi Hirsch Rabinowitz, the Kovna Rav, 1884 to 1944, who says there's a major difference between these two types of purification procedures. The first one, a mikvah, can only purify someone when it's totally immersed in it. If even one hair is sticking out of the mikvah and is not immersed, the tevilah, the dipping, is invalid. On the other hand, in a sprinkling process with the Parah Adumah, it's effective even if the holy water that he sprinkles touches the tip of his finger or of his lip. So Rapam says that's the same thing with Teshuvah. There's two types. Now, there's one person who's able to do something that most people can't, and that would be to totally immerse himself in Teshuvah and totally remake himself into someone new by fixing all his sins and all his shortcomings. And he comes from that a new person in the fullest sense of the word. However, there's another type of person, which is probably the majority, that someone who can't do can't make a total change. He has to at least, or she, at least inspire his or herself to fix at least an aspect of avodas Hashem, serving God, or his midos between one person and another, interpersonal relationships. So, figuratively speaking, the second person will be sprinkling the holy waters of Teshuvah on only one part of his body. He's not doing the full mikvah procedure, the full Teshuvah. And that's what the Mishnah that quotes Rabbi Akiva is alluding to. If a person cannot totally immerse himself in an all-encompassing level of teshuvah, represented by the mikveh, he should not become despondent. Let him at least attempt a partial teshuvah, which would be akin to sprinkling the mechatas, so that water, on part of him. And nonetheless, even though he's focusing only on one aspect of himself to change, he creates a great deal of purity, and that becomes a stepping stone to bringing himself even further along the process of teshuvah, becoming more comprehensive. As it says, "Ba latar masayin." When someone tries to purify himself, Hashem comes and helps him. So the main thing for us to do is take the first step to teshuvah. We can't do the whole thing. We can't get into the mikveh, totally immerse, totally change ourselves. Don't worry so much. Make at least a minute step going in the right direction. Start, and Hashem will make us merit to improve and further progress along the derech towards Teshuvah, and that'll be appreciated. Have a great Shabbos, have a great Yom Kippur, and a great Sukkot. Thank you for listening. Like, share, and subscribe.